Tomorrow is Super Tuesday. Voters will head to the polls for the presidential primary. To find out everything you need to know, we chat with Town Clerk Ann Quirk on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Monday, February 29th, 2016. I'm Sarah Colvin. I know that you and the staff have been so super busy lately getting ready for this election, and what does it take for you guys to get ready for an election of this size?
We have so many mandates that come to us from the state that we do have days and days and days of different things that have to be handled. One of the things, and I'm sure you saw it in the newspaper, we're supposed to test all of our AccuVote voting machines prior to the election, and the ballots were printed by a digital process versus the normal process, which is offset printing. So those ballots were smudging and they weren't going through our AccuVote machines.
Scary.
Very frightening. So these are some of the new ones. I've gotten them now, so we're going to start testing some more.
Great, and hopefully they will go through, because I think back to, what was it, the 2000 election, when there was all those hanging chads and weird things that went along with the election. We don't want to have any of those here in Barnstable. So testing the ballots. So how many different ballots are there for people to choose from on Tuesday?
Well, for all those unenrolled people, and for the people who are in the odd designations like the Pirate Party and the Pizza Party, things like that, they're going to be able to choose a ballot, and they can choose either the Democratic ballot, the Republican ballot, the Green Rainbow ballot, or the United Independent ballot, which again is going to be blank.
Absolutely, and I think that is one of the big questions that people have, and of course we have passed the deadline to change your voter designation, but independent does not mean that you can choose anyone you want. Independent is an actual designated party. It's unenrolled, which is the one where you're kind of free to choose whichever party that you want.
Correct. And in the town of Barnstable, the majority of our registered voters are unenrolled.
Wow, I think you said we have about 19,000 unenrolled registered.
Yes, we do.
That's pretty amazing.
It is.
So we've seen a little bit of a groundswell in terms of people registering to vote. Obviously, again, the deadline has passed. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. But did you see a large number of people coming in to register to vote so that they could be eligible for this primary?
Not only did we see a large amount of people come into the office, but because of the new online registration, we had over 500 come in the last couple of days.
Wow.
Prior to the end, the cutoff date for signing up to vote. So quite a few of them were young people, which really is heartening when you think about it. Unfortunately, there were a few that we had to reject because they wouldn't be 18 by March 1st.
Oh.
So we had to reject them, but with the idea, the note was on there that they can reapply for the fall elections.
Great. So to get ready for that. So what are the things that we need to keep in mind for the March 1st primary? What are people going to vote for? Is it strictly just presidential candidates on this ballot?
It is presidential candidates. It is the state committee man, the state committee woman for each party, and it's also your town committees. So we have quite a few people that work all year long for 4 years for their party. And that's what this group is.
Absolutely. So those will be the things on the ballot. What do people need to keep in mind when they come to the polls?
No buttons, no banners, no T-shirts saying "vote for me" or things like that. They can't do that. We have had contact by the school administration, actually a school teacher, Steve Moynihan, who does an AP history class. And at the 2012 elections, he had students doing exit polling at the different polling locations. He's asked if they could do it again. I'm very happy to have them They're very articulate young people, and they're unobtrusive, and they ask their questions and then let people go along.
So. Oh, fantastic. So keep an eye out for young people
Yes.
doing exit polling here in the town of Barnstable. So if folks are unsure, I know that, again, we talked about this before, if they're unsure if they are eligible to vote and want to make sure, would you encourage them to call or just show up at the polls?
Actually, I encourage anyone to call the office. That's what we're here for. Please call us. But I want you to also know that on our website, under the town of Barnstable, if you go to elections, we have a link on there that goes right to the Secretary of State's office, and it will tell you where you are a voter and what precinct you belong to and the hours of polling.
Excellent, and tell you the polling location as well.
Absolutely.
How many different polling locations do we have here in Barnstable?
We have 10 polling locations for the 13 precincts.
Great, and that's because 2 of them are at the HYCC.
Right.
Great, and so people can again find that information online. They can find it at the website. So let's talk about your hopes for turnout. I know this is a pretty contested election. I think people are pretty heated about the presidential hopeful, and I think especially when we don't have an incumbent, when we're going to elect somebody new, no matter what party they're from. And we've heard so much going on, and there's been a lot of campaigns to get people to get out there and vote. And we've seen people registering to vote. What are you hoping for in terms of turnout? And historically, on an election like this, what do we see for turnout here in Barnstable?
In Barnstable, we have people who are really interested in elections. I find that excellent. I'm excited that we do. The presidential primary in 2012, because we had an incumbent, it wasn't as huge a turnout. But I believe this year, I'm hoping for 60 to 65%.
That's excellent.
That's my hope, is that we get 60 to 65% out to vote.
Absolutely. So the polls open at 7 in the morning.
Yes.
On Tuesday, March 1st, and they are open until 8 o'clock at night.
Correct.
And when do you, and then you guys are busy working and telling those results. When can we expect to see at least Barnstable's results for the primary election?
Well, here's the rub on that one. Every time someone puts down on a ballot Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck or anybody else but, things like that, it really kind of skews everything. And we have to go through all of those and decide, well, that's really not a person, anybody else but, or, Mickey Mouse is a cartoon character. So we have to take those out of write-ins and we have to put those into blanks. My intention for bringing this up is don't waste your vote. If you really feel strongly that you don't care for whoever it is that's running, leave it blank, because that sends a message right there. I will tell you that we will have the unofficial results once all of the precincts materials have come back to us by the police officers that are stationed at the precincts. Normally, it's an early night, but not this. It won't be this year because it's just so many. There's so many ballots they have to go through, so it will take a little bit longer. I would hope that we'll have the information up there by 11 o'clock, and I'll be sending it off to our IT director, and he will put it right up on the website as the unofficial results.
Great, and I'm sure that will trickle down to our Facebook page, and we'll have the results here on Barnstable this morning on the 2nd. But it's really exciting. This is an exciting time. Elections are a big part of what you do in the town clerk's office, and I think just kind of gearing up for November, which is going to be even larger than what we have here. And there's a couple of, there's a September election in between that as well. So it's going to be a busy year for you. And any other suggestions that you have for voters, things to keep in mind, things that they really should be aware of when they head to the polls, other than just getting out there and voting?
If you need a ride, most of your town committee people will help you get to the polls. That's a definite. Call us, we'll call them, and we'll try to set you up. Hopefully it's going to be a good day, so we won't have a weather issue. The other thing, too, is to remember that your vote is your voice. That's how you tell everybody how you feel.
Polls will be open here in Barnstable from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. tomorrow. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.